Welcome to another video, everybody. I am back here with another cool find. Let's see if these are any good. They are from Five and Below. 14 artist pens, all different sizes, different shapes. I'm gonna see how these stack up to my Copics. Obviously, you know, it's kind of hard to stack up to Copic, but I want to see how the lines pull. I want to see the intensity of the blacks. And I want to see if it's really worth, you guys going to grab a $4 pack of liners. These things are super expensive normally, and you're getting 14 of them. Even if just one is good, I feel like it's a good deal for $4. But I'm going to let you know if it's even worth getting it. Because I'm a little skeptical because I have been spoiled by, Copics and multi-liners. I like this brand and I like their disposable ones, but let's be real, this is an expensive pack. This is almost $90, I think retail. I paid a little less than that, but that's still a lot for a set of pens with no chisel. There's a brush pen in here, but then there's just different line weights. Whereas this one has some chisel tips and bullet tips and all that nice stuff. Even has a brush tip, so we're gonna test it out. I'm gonna just pull some lines here, and then I'm gonna actually take a drawing of mine and try it out on that. Alright, so I'm gonna open this one up. Come on. I wanted to keep the box in good shape because I really don't have a lot of room to store pens anymore, so I was just trying to keep it in the box, but I think that went out of the window. See if there's something in here holding it together, or if they're just they're held together by this thin piece of plastic. So let's take a look here. You got a 1.0, 0.8, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, and then a brush tip, and these are just your basic liners, and then these are your different sizes. Well, I do kind of wish that they were labeled on the top, because it's nice when they're in a bag, or if they're in your toolbox and you can just see from up here what they are. You'll have to look on the side. Some people like that, some people don't. So you have chisel, bullet, and this one just says black. I'm wondering what brush tip this is. So it's just like a basic. Well, that's nice. So I'm going to use the brush tip to really see how saturated the black is. So I'm going to draw a line going down the paper. Get a fresh one here. So I'm going to draw a line going down the paper. This will be the Copic side. Let me zoom out a little bit here. And this is the Five and Below. I already like writing with this, even if it's not to do any finished work, but if you're just kind of doodling or writing some notes down, I already like this one. So this one's just called black, just says black. They do feel pretty chintzy, I'm not gonna lie about that, but what can you do, right? For $4, you can't go wrong. This is the bullet tip. It's a little bit fatter. I'm just going to pull a straight line down. So that's going to be our thick. This is the brush tip. I'm going to just highly saturate. You guys will probably be able to see it a lot better than I can, the richness of the black. Because from my angle, it all looks black to me, but I can already see it's starting to dry a bit. And you can almost see the, I want to say gray, but it's almost like a warm gray. Not a fan. But like I said, if you're just looking for something to doodle with, I'm not seeing a problem there. This is the 0.3. Another problem I find with liners is being able to pull the line. Sometimes when you pull a line, you get a little bit of a jag, or it starts to drag, And that was fairly painless. This is the other bullet tip. Let's see. This is the .4. Not used to having a .4, so it might be a good backup pen. I am pretty pleased with the glide of the pen. You know, I started off with microns, and when you pull a micron, there is a pullback, and Sharpies do the same thing. So this one does not have a pullback. It has a metal holder, so that's good. It's not plastic. So the line weights are accurate. Whoa. So this one's already dried out. And it's not very saturated, so ding number 1 is the 0.8. This is the 1.0. Same thing with this one. This one, these two dry already. You can see the jaggedness of that Y. Now I'm going to grab the comparable ones for Copic. And even Copics do pull. So I'm not going to sit here and lie about the pulling of the Copic, but yeah, you just can't beat that rich black though. And the 0.3 seems to be a little bit thicker. It's not as thin as the 0.3 on the 5 and below. I'm just gonna call it the 5 blue. Alright, so I don't have a 0.4, so we'll just skip the 0.5. And I think, yep, it is identical. So the 0.5 on the 5 and below is not bad at all. So I don't have a 0.6. I do have a 0.7. So right in the middle of the 6 and an 8. And then we got the 1.0. So Copic decided to leave out the 0.8 and go for a 0.7. I love the 0.7 of the Copic. Let's compare it to the 8. Yeah, it's funny because this is supposed to be a smaller nib, but it's actually pulling a thicker line and more saturated. So it's a richer, blacker ink coming from Copic. And I don't know why I grabbed the 0.1. I meant to grab the 1.0, which I don't have. Oh my god, I don't have a 1. I thought I did. So this is the spectrum you're going to get with Copic. There are some in-between sizes. Obviously this doesn't have the 0.2. But now let's check the richness of the brush. That's going to be huge. So this is the black from the 5 and below. I'm going to put it as close as possible so you can see. It just comes out a lot richer, a lot smoother. It feels like it's just jumping out of that cartridge. And that's another thing, is you can refill these. So the cost kind of outweighs. So this is the cartridge inside the Copic, and it just pops right in, and you just keep going. So if you're good with adding ink, you could technically add your own ink to the Copic refills without having to buy the expensive cartridges. But as you can see here, I will pull it in. I didn't think I was going to be able to see a difference, but I do see a huge difference. It might not seem like a big deal, but when you're inking and you need rich blacks, I gotta say, Copic is the way to go. But is this a bad deal? I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. I like to doodle a lot. I like to sketch. I like to do warm-ups. That's the chisel right there. And I like to mess around. And sometimes you don't want to use... This is the bullet. I like this one. And this is chisel. I like to mess around, and sometimes I don't want to ruin these tips. These are expensive to fix, expensive to replace. Yeah, they're replaceable, so you can replace the tips, you can replace the cartridges, but a cartridge by itself is $2.50, and the tips, sometimes you can get a 2-pack for $3 or $4. That's $6 right there. If you're getting multiples, you can be going at close to $30 if you're trying to replace your whole set. For $4, you're getting 14 pens. So I would say if you're being casual and you just want some liners to mess around with and color over with a marker or color pencil, I would highly recommend picking this up. But if you are professional, if you're selling your artwork, I would stay away from this. This is an okay set for beginners and people who just want to mess around. Or you're like me, you just want an extra set to just mess around with. This is the way to go. But if you're doing professional work, if you're selling your work, I would stick with Copic. You're going to get a professional grade, professional quality pen, and it's just a feel. There's weight to this. This feels like I could fling it across the room and I wouldn't even realize it left my hand. But next, I'm going to sketch something. I'm going to ink over a drawing that I have in a sketchbook and see how it stacks up. I will time lapse it though, because sometimes I do take my time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I will say definitely worth the $4, even if you're just messing around. But I'm going to do the sketch and see how you guys like it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that quick time lapse there. I like messing around with blacks and bringing stuff out, and this is kind of like my idea book. This is where I just sketch. I take this everywhere I go, either this one or my other one, and I have a lot of fun with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I would say definitely if you're in the market for one of these pens, $4. That's the price of 2 coffees. Sometimes it's more than a cup of coffee these days. So if you want to mess around, I wouldn't skip on this. This is actually a pretty good deal for $4. I had fun with it. It looks good in my sketchbook. Again, just the richness of the blacks. That's my biggest pet peeve, but for $4 you can't complain. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if there's something that you guys want to check out that you kind of wasn't sure about. I wouldn't mind picking it up and trying it out for the channel. The next thing I do have on the channel that I'm going to be testing out is the Sharpie lettering kit. So watch out for that. I want to do some cool effects with it. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to keep it over 9,000. Take care.